Continuing the IMDB bottom 100, barbed wire isn't streaming anywhere I can watch, so it's time to go to number 63, Hercules in New York from 1970. Streaming on, for like the zillionth time, Tubi. Okay, story time. This movie is best known, if at all, for being the acting debut of Arnold Schwarzenegger. 7 years before Pumping Iron made him a recognizable name, more than a decade before Conan the Barbarian made him huge. He was a 22-year-old bodybuilder who ran a bricklaying business in Los Angeles with fellow bodybuilder Franco Columbu. But he was also interested in pursuing an acting career. Then he found out about an audition to play the demigod Hercules in an upcoming comedy. He was encouraged to audition by his friend Reg Park, yet another bodybuilder who played Hercules in a string of successful Italian-produced movies. Schwarzenegger's agent told the casting directors he had years of stage experience. This was only technically the truth since he actually meant on the stage of bodybuilding competitions. But he got the job. This was also the first movie from the director who, up until now, only directed for the stage. And this time I do mean theater. It was filmed entirely on location in New York and was produced independently on a budget of only $300,000. Many scenes, including a chariot chase that happens near the climax, were filmed without a permit. When production began, Arnold had just won both the professional and amateur titles for the bodybuilding competition, the Universe Championship. During production, he was training for next year's. After production wrapped up, he won the professional title again, beating Reg Park. Now here's where it gets weird. The people involved in this movie were not too pleased with Arnold's long last name, so to play off the name of his co-star Arnold Stang, he was credited as Arnold Strong. Oh, but there's more. They also didn't like his heavy Austrian accent, so they had an uncredited voice actor dub over all his lines. So basically, is he really even in this that much anymore? If you didn't like the voice or the name, why hire him at all? There's gotta be somebody with that body who can live up to your standards. I guess maybe the voice thing might make sense because it might not make sense for a Greek god to sound Austrian, and then have all the humans around him believing that he's from Greece, but the voice actor doesn't sound Greek either. Or at least what little I've heard from him. I actually read the Wikipedia page beforehand and came in fully expecting the weirdness that is Arnold Schwarzenegger with a dubbed American accent. But then once he started talking, I realized something. Arnold Schwarzenegger actually sounds like Arnold Schwarzenegger. Yes, we got the actual audio here, with the exception of one scene near the end where Hercules talks to Arnold Stang's character through the radio. He was not on screen, so he never got to say his lines. So it's kind of confusing. Why does Stang think this guy is Hercules? He sounds nothing like him. The most positive review on Metacritic, yes, there were 4 listed reviews, but this is the highest score this movie got, said that the one thing that made this watchable was seeing Schwarzenegger dubbed. That could have made this less of a bad experience for me. All I really know about that voice now is that according to another review, it sounds like he's giving bus departure announcements at the Port Authority terminal. So damn you Tubi for caring about artistic integrity. I mean, is he even Arnold Strong anymore? One last thing before I talk about the actual movie. I've been looking at trailers before starting to write this, and I don't think there are any on YouTube that aren't for a re-release or something. There's a couple of trailers that mention Schwarzenegger and movies he'll make in the future, and then a bunch of clips and stuff. Everything before that is pretty much gone. Also, one of the trailers has the dubbed version.
Arnold Schwarzenegger. You've seen him pumping iron. As Conan the Barbarian. Arnold Schwarzenegger. Mighty, magnificent, and muscular as never before.
I'm tired of the same old faces, the same old things.
But enough of that. On to the movie. It sucks. It's on the lower end of movies I've seen for this list. But I guess it's occasionally so bad it's good. The low budget is on display from the very beginning. The Kingdom of the Gods pretty much just looks like a toga party at a park. Although I guess that's serviceable enough. Oh, and there are also parts where one character speaks and there's some whirring noise in the background, and then the other character speaks and the noise just disappears, only to show up again when the next guy talks. I mean, come on guys, this is the kind of thing you only see in some of my videos when I can't get my laptop to stop making noise. You're better than that. So, what's it about? Hercules wants to go to Earth, so Zeus sends him to New York and hijinks ensue. Upon his descent to Earth, some woman on a plane sees him flying by and is terrified, but her acting is so bad it looks more like a Seinfeld character reacting to a minor inconvenience.
I just saw a man. No, outside. He was flying, and he was practically naked.
Also, why does her hair look so weird? The Wikipedia plot summary says that when he first gets to Earth, hilarity ensues. That's a little generous. This is a comedy, but it didn't make me laugh once. At least not on purpose. At one point in this section, Hercules has to pay a cab driver, and that driver uses the words bucks and dough. Hercules responds by asking what male and female deer have to do with anything. This is one of the best jokes in the movie. The only one I can think of that was better than that was when Hercules steals a carriage to go on an elaborate chase while the owner was getting a hot dog. The owner chased him on foot and ended up in a park. And at the end of the chase, the hot dog stand owner catches up to him and puts relish on that hot dog. There you have it, the only half-decent joke in the movie. Not hilarious, but at least it's something. I mean, even Stan Helsing got a couple intentional laughs out of me. The Arnold Stang and Arnold Strong thing is the only remotely clever thing in this movie. The acting's also pretty bad. Arnold in the 80s had a reputation for not being the best actor, and this movie was when he had literally no experience, and he's still one of the best actors here. The most convincing thing in this movie is Arnold Strong's pecs, and you get to know them very well. He takes his shirt off a lot, often for no real reason, like this scene.
You won't believe your eyes.
Doesn't even look like me. Look.
What are you doing? Oh, wow!
Yes, that was totally necessary. You really needed to get half naked in the middle of the street for that. So what if he probably has a different face than you? You can more easily identify him because his chest is also different. He's super ripped, while the real Hercules is ultra ripped. Two different things.
I really wish you'd put your shirt back on.
And there are a few moments where people pick fights for minor inconveniences. Really, you want to fight this guy just because he annoyed you slightly? Also, he fights a bear at one point. A truly Herculean task, fighting a guy in an obvious bear costume. That's your advice? Also, is the guy driving the carriage just sitting there? I guess maybe he doesn't want to leave Hercules behind. Still stupid, but can I at least get a shot of him being conflicted?
What the hell was that?
Anyway, this is actually a big plot point because the news comes out that he subdued a bear that escaped from the zoo with his bare hands, and that notoriety gets him to go into professional wrestling. But the wrestling is pretty much designed to a brief montage, if anything at all. Which really sucks because I feel like if the story focused more on his career, it could have been just a little more interesting. Most of the movie is about the gods' attempts to get him back, which could have been interesting against the backdrop of professional wrestling. It shows Hercules in a weightlifting contest near the end, so I guess that's a partial win. I mean, that's surely what Arnold is more used to. Oh yeah, who is Arnold Stang? He's the guy who Hercules befriended. Kinda comes across as an over-the-top Woody Allen impression. Woody Allen probably wasn't big back then, so that's probably not what he was going for, but that's what it felt like. And that's all I really care to say about him. The most entertaining part of the movie is the chariot chase near the end that I mentioned wasn't filmed with a permit and ended with the hot dog joke. You can tell that most of the footage was sped up, and there are also parts that look really fake, but at least it has energy. So this is the start of the career of an action superstar and future governor. A guy's first role ever, and he's the title character. Except the movie sucks, he's not credited for it, and we don't even get to hear him talk. The movie itself, I guess, does what it could with the low budget and the terrible writing and acting. It kind of wastes its potential by not showing us the world of wrestling that seems like it would be a big part of Hercules' life in New York, but then again, I guess you gotta save money for the Oscar-worthy effects in that bear fight. Once again, this is among the worst I've seen for this list. I guess it's behind only Mac and Me and Stan Helsing for worst here. Stan Helsing is a little more entertaining and has better production value, but at least Hercules had an actual story. Not much, but at least something. And at least it didn't insult my intelligence as much. It insulted it, but nowhere near the level of Stan Helsing. But either way, this is a mess. Stupid, cheap, unfunny crap that one guy had to be in before moving on to better things. A true inspiration for young actors who only get roles in embarrassing stuff. Someday we could all be like the great Arnold Strong. Greetings, my name is Jay Strong, a real person with a real voice. Please join my Patreon, link in the description.